There are 5 foods that you are not paying attention to, and these are stopping you from losing weight. And let's go straight into it. So the first one is one that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to. Bombay mix and nuts and trail mixes and stuff. Fat, I think a lot of people now know that for each gram of fat, you're looking at around 9 calories, okay? Now the problem with that is it's very easy to overeat. Once upon a time, we used to think that fat was fattening and it was bad for you, kind of, but the word fattening, I don't really know why it still exists. Fattening food, essentially all it is, it's just foods that are higher in calories. And that's why a lot of people find it hard to lose weight, because they're putting lots of oil, which I'll come on to in a second, in their foods. They'll have food, because fats taste good, right? You know, you get cheeses, you get nuts, you get all that sort of stuff. That's why fried foods, for example, the fat content's quite high in there, which is what boosts calories, and it's a very low volume food, meaning you can have 2 tablespoons of oil in a salad without realizing it, and that, 20 calorie salad is now 280 calories in total. Bombay mixes and trail mixes, etc., although nuts are healthy to some extent, especially plain nuts, for God's sake, like walnuts and Brazil nuts and almonds. When you're looking at all these other nuts, they're very easy to overeat. They're made to taste good. Salt and stuff is added to them as well, taste. And when you think you're having a healthy snack, they're essentially taking in around 300 to 400 calories without realizing it, and that is almost a meal in and of itself. So nuts and Bombay mixes, trail mixes, etc., big one. Now the next one isn't exactly stopping you from losing weight, but it's reducing fiber content, or it's not getting you to have as much, which means you're still feeling hungry, which means you end up eating more of it. And that's any veg-based salad. So aloo gobi is the most popular one, I would say, in my eyes anyway. And what's happening is you're putting it in the handi, and you're putting cauliflower in there, you're putting pindia in there, you're putting all sorts of veggies or whatever you're having, okay? And you're thinking, oh, I'm getting my veggies. But you need to understand the process of cooking it down and breaking it down. When was the last time your mum made aloo gobi and the cauliflower was very crunchy? Doesn't happen often, right? It's cooked down a little bit. When was the last time you had pindia and they were still quite crunchy, the okra? Didn't happen, okay? So because of that, fiber is reduced significantly. A lot more oil and butter and ghee is added to it as well, which shoots the calories up. And you're actually going to be feeling quite hungry again, because the fiber is reduced. There'll be some, but nowhere near as much as if you were like steaming it or even a light boil. And then you're going to be reaching for food later on in the day. So having veg-based salad, you might think that's a good idea, and it is, nothing wrong with it. But if you're looking at something that will keep you feeling fuller, and if you think it's going to give you lots of fiber, obviously it's not. You need to try and make sure you eat veggies outside of your salad. So do not count, I know it's controversial, but do not count veg-based salads towards your veggie intake, because you're reducing and killing a lot of the nutrients in it. A lot of people will debate me on that, but to each their own. The next one is paneer. Now, paneer for vegetarians, I get it, I understand it, but switch to low fat, because regular paneer is actually quite high in calories. Protein content, you're looking at roughly the same amount, but per 100 grams is actually significantly higher. So I do believe you get anywhere between 100 to 150 more. And that's not really significant in the grand scheme of things. But if you're a vegetarian and you want to get in your vegetarian sources, that's going to be something you're going to be relying heavily on. So I want to make sure that people are doing it properly. So opt wherever possible for low fat paneer. That's going to be your best bet. The next one is not measuring your oil. So this is not so much as a food itself, but it's something that is killing a lot of people's progress. A lot of people are speaking about this over and over, and by now you guys will know, you've seen the TikToks, a tablespoon of oil is around 120 calories or so. Because of that, a lot of people are over consuming it. When was the last time you made a handi and you just took 1 tablespoon of oil and you put it in there? It is a ridiculously small amount, and that's a problem for a lot of people. So that's why I say find a high smoke point oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. It's not going to make your food taste like coconuts, but what's going to happen is you can put in a decent amount in there, not too much, and the food's going to cook in there. Use water, be tactful. If you're on this journey to lose weight and you want to take this seriously, you're going to have to sacrifice some things, and using maybe a little less ghee or a little less oil is going to have to be at the forefront. Okay, you can use a bit of water to top it up, or use like a high smoke point oil as well. But 1 tablespoon of oil is going to be around 120 calories, which is quite crazy if you think about it, because most people, when they're making, if you go on the street, if you look at street food in Pakistan and India, and you see the way they add the oil into their foods and then they're making their salads, it is quite scary when you realize how many calories are going in there. And that in itself is another example of 1 gram of fat equaling 9 calories, and that adds up significantly. So keep an eye on your oil, do the best that you can. If there's one tip I'm going to give you, if there's one I want you to hold on to the most, it is this one. Out of the whole video, if you're looking at the other ones and you're thinking, nah, I can't do that, please, this one pay most attention to. And finally, this one might offend some of you, but your tea, right? So when people are having tea in the evening, I get it. For a lot of people, it's their me time and they want to sit down with a cup of chai, but I get that. I'm not saying stop it, but if you're able to have tea on its own, kudos to you. I do not know many people who are able able to have tea on their own. That is a skill, okay? If you can have tea without anything accompanying it, that is bloody brilliant. But who exactly does that? And that's the bloody problem. So tea normally comes with biscuits, etc. You know, I have suggested fruit with your tea and I got scolded for it. Obviously that would be good, but it doesn't really accompany it well. You want something like biscuits or something like that. When you think about it, if you're having digestive biscuits, what's the average biscuit? Is around 30 to 50 calorie-ish. Are you going to stop at 1? No. Are you going to stop at 2? Probably not. Usually it's 3, 4, 5, and you don't realize it, but an average cup of tea made with full fat milk, you know, that could be anywhere between 50 to 100 calories or more. Then you're looking at the biscuits as well, and that adds up. So in total, you've probably stayed within your calories over the whole day and then consumed an extra 300 to 500 calories in the evening without realizing it. Don't think just because it's a small thing, it's not going to have a huge impact. Think about the oil example I gave you earlier. Something small and insignificant adds up massively. And I don't know anyone who has tea on its own, so most people will have biscuits and little knickknacks here accompanying it, and that adds up. And if you have tea, for example, like 2 or 3 times a day, you know, you could just have one innocent biscuit, but again, it's adding up over the course of the whole day as well. And alongside of that, a little side note as well is little knickknacks that you pick on, tastes, licks, bites, all of these things add up. So if you are going to count calories, because I know some people do, you got to go all in. And there you go. So 5 things that I've observed over my 12, 13 years of doing this that tend to trip most people up. And I promise you, if you pay attention to those, if you start your journey, you just pay attention to those only. Don't worry about the macros and the protein and all that sort of stuff, although they matter. If you just want to start with something that's going to make life easier for you and it's going to be a simple starting point, look at those 5 things I've just mentioned and do your best to reduce or cut them out, or just be more mindful of them basically. Now, if some of this offended you and you think you can't make those swaps, well, I'm going to offend you even further. I made a video talking about how our elders got it wrong and how their advice sucks now. Not entirely, but trust me, if you're trying to lose weight just now and you get a lot of advice from your elders, whether it's your parents or your grandparents, and it's putting you off, or if you think I'm completely wrong and I shouldn't be questioning them, then just stick around and watch my next video, because after watching it, it's going to open your eyes and it's going to make your weight loss journey a hell of a lot more easier. So don't go yet, go to that video please. It'll appear on the screen just now and I'll see you there.